Hi, everybody. This is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut. And hope you like this video and subscribe. The big goal for my channel from now until the end of this year is to get to 5,000 subscribers. Now, I have gotten great support on this channel for the last 3 years. And you're the reason why my channel has done as well as it has. It's my fault that it hasn't done better. But I'm asking you for some help to get this channel out there further onto YouTube by coming in here, leaving comments, watching the entirety of the video, and of course, sharing it with your friends, sharing it online, either on Facebook, YouTube, YouTube and Twitter and X-Twitter, whatever they call it, and Reddit, and all these different places. And if you're a first-time person coming in here, and there are people that come in here for the first time, I need you to subscribe. So if you like what you hear here, I need you to subscribe and join the fun. I will have live streams coming up in the near future, sometime in the fall. I'm not sure when yet. You'll know when you know. And there's always videos coming up here. I'm going to try to get as much on here as I can. But if you will, please help me reach this goal of 5,000 subscribers. I know you can help me do it. You've done enormous things for me, and I can't thank you enough. I'm not going to get into it here, but done a lot of help for me, I got to say. Thank you. So we're going to talk about the Mets pitching, and really what's in the farm system and what they can expect from 2024. This year, obviously, it was a complete disaster. The Mets starting pitching up until the last 2 or 3 months has been a disaster. They had Max Scherzer here. Just very average pitching. Did not pitch well when they needed him to pitch well. He did not pitch well in the big spots. Didn't pitch well last year in the big spots. Completely failed against the Braves last year. When at the end of the season, when the Mets were in Atlanta, he didn't pitch well against the Padres in the wild card game. Just didn't show up. Constantly gave up home runs, and as you know, he was a guy that gave up a lot of runs in the first inning. Justin Verlander. And, of course, Scherzer got traded to Texas. And he is now on the injury list. He hurt his arm. So you can imagine that if it kept him and kept Verlander, and they tried to get back into the race, they would be out of having a big pitcher in the rotation. So he would have hurt them again. So it was good that he was moved. And he didn't pitch well. They moved him. They ate a lot of the contract. And then, of course, Verlander, who missed the first month of the season, had similar issues in the beginning. It took him a while. He was starting to come around. But really, their numbers in particular, Verlander and Scherzer, they've been actually very pedestrian for their careers. So they kind of show their age, I think, this season. Now, we know Verlander won the Cy Young in the American League. He pitched great last year. But no pitcher other than Matt Harvey have come back to the level that those two guys have done. And I would think that he's probably taken a step back. He's probably more of a number 3 or 4 starter. But he hasn't really pitched all that well for Houston since he went back there. But obviously the Met starting staff has not been good this year, other than the last few weeks. And this is what I'm talking about, is that they have 2 guys in this rotation that have pitched really well. Senga, who has pitched great. Senga, who has pitched great this season and has pitched even better over the last 2 months since they moved all these guys. And he's going to get a lot of Cy Young votes. He's going to get a lot of Rookie of the Year votes. He and Corbin Carroll are neck and neck for the Rookie of the Year. I predicted, just want to remind you, I predicted before the season that Kodai Senga was going to win the Rookie of the Year. He is on pace to still do that. He probably has about 2 starts left of the season. Need him to get 2 more big starts here, and against playoff teams and the hunt. He's going to be going up against the Phillies. He's going to be going up against the Marlins. So those games, he might get 3 starts. Who knows? And he's had a great year. He's going to probably get over 200 strikeouts. That's will be the second highest total in the history of the Mets in terms of rookies. He's pitched terrifically, and he's been fun to watch. And the other pitcher that the Mets have had that didn't have him for half the year was Jose Quintana. Real professional, real pros pro. He shut down a pretty good lineup on the weekend against the Reds. He's pitched very well. since he's come back from this injury, and I would expect that he'll be in the rotation. Now we have a big hole. We have 3 spots out of 5 pitchers. We know that David Peterson didn't pitch well most of the year. We know that Tyler McGill hasn't pitched well, although they pitched well lately. That's not going to cut it. Okay, to be honest with you, they have been up and down really in their careers, and I would not expect them to be penciled in or at the very least in this rotation. They're spare parts, extra pitchers. I know Jose Butto has pitched well. He's walked a lot of batters. I know he's pitching on Monday. We'll see how he pitches against a playoff team. And obviously, Mets have some interesting pieces in the minor leagues. We have Blade Tidwell. These guys in Double-A. Blade Tidwell, Christian Scott, Dominic Hamill, and Tyler Stewart. Of the 4, they're all in. Only Tidwell can be considered possibly elite if he refines his stuff. You can get a big-time starter it can come from anywhere. Look at Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom came to the major leagues with this expectation of him being a reliever. Turned out he was one of the greatest pitchers in the history of the Mets. I'm not saying these guys could be that, but you never know with pitching. David Cone, all the way back, did not come in with a lot of fanfare when they made that trade. And he became a big-time ace and a big-time winner for the Yankees and the Mets and the Blue Jays and the Royals. So he was a big starter back in the day. So you never know who's going to come out of nowhere to pitch well. And obviously, one thing the Mets didn't really address during this trade deadline was to bring in any pitching into the organization. Other than Justin Jarvis, who's not pitched well. Didn't pitch well for the Mets in Class A, I guess he was pitching in. But we know going into the offseason, the Mets have been considered the favorites to sign Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He's the big pitcher in Japan. He's considered the best pitcher in Japan. He's considered to be better than Senga. He's considered to be better than Shohei Ohtani. He's 24 years old. He just turned 25 years old. And he is considered to be the best pitcher in the Japanese league. The Mets have been connected to him. At least 29 teams have scouted him. I don't know who the one team is that did scout him, but he's the one team, he's the one pitcher and he's going to get posted. The Oryx Buffaloes are gonna post him, meaning that they will make him available to teams to sign him. As you know, the Mets do have a relationship with Japan because of Billy Epler, who he signed Shohei Ohtani years ago, and of course he signed Kodai Senga, and so he has a very good relationship with the Japanese players and the Japanese teams. So the Mets are going to be very aggressive to get him, as well as the Yankees and a lot of other teams. He recently just pitched a no-hitter in Japan. The Yankees were there, the Mets were there, a lot of teams were there. At least 8 or 9 teams were there to scout him. It's a very impressive way to get people to notice you. And we have an interesting free agent market. I would stay away from Blake Snell, just due to the fact that, he's 31 years old, he's a little bit older. To me, personally, I'd like to see the Mets get a guy that is more workmanlike, a guy that's an innings eater. I've mentioned him before, and that's Aaron Nola. I would really like to see the Mets get him rather than get a guy that is sort of the high-end guy. Nola was a high-end guy, and now he's sort of taking a step back, but he still throws a lot of innings. He knows his division. I think he would pitch probably a little bit better here in Citi Field than he does down there in Philadelphia with being a little bit of a bandbox. But that's a player and a pitcher I'd like to see the Mets bring in. Obviously, you'd have to give him a 5 or 6 year deal because he's probably going to be looking for that. That's the only consideration. I would mention about Yamamoto. The expectation is that he's going to look for a $200 million contract with, I guess, 5 or 6 years, if not more, just due to the fact that he's 25 years old. So these are the kind of names we're talking about here. And obviously with these pitchers in the minor leagues, and 4 of them being in Double-A, and I would mention Mike Vasil's in Triple-A, you got some depth here, which they didn't have prior to this season. And obviously the Mets have a pitching lab, and they've opened that up in Port St. Lucie, and that's going to be available to all these young guys, and even to the Met veterans, to go down there and find out how they can do better with pitches, how they can refine their motions, refine their deliveries, and find a way to be more effective every 5 days. Now, some of these guys are not going to be in the rotation. Some of these guys are going to go to the bullpen. So that's why it's important to always develop starting pitching and always develop them to where even if you can't get value out of them in terms of the starting rotation, you could put them in the bullpen. We've seen numerous players that have gone into the bullpen that were starters. Jeurys Familia was one. Seth Lugo was one, if you're a Met fan. So these guys, you want to develop them as starters rather than as relievers. But that's my opinion. You tell me what you think in the comment section. And again, I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers on this channel. So hit the subscribe button. Share the video. Tell people about this channel. If you have a friend who's a Mets fan, text them the video. Text them the channel. I really appreciate it. This channel does really well, believe it or not. But it could do much better. It could do a hell of a lot better. But that's on me. That's not on you. It's on me. But I need you to help to get this channel out there and get to 5K by December 31st. I know it in my heart. I believe you will help me. I know you'll help me. You've helped me for 3 years, and you're going to continue to do so. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to The Baseball Hut, and I'll see you later.